Okay. Let's get started. Yes. So in the last session, we saw the handlers and how to use the handlers. Today, we'll talk about something called like roles. Like I said, they're kind of functions within your programming aspect. Let's see, we'll take, first I'll explain you the concept where you can apply this part. Then we'll see how we can create the roles and start working with the Ansible rules. Now, let's say this, you are doing some kind of application workload and there are some common tasks you need to repeat across multiple places. Let's say this is what you're trying to do. You want to set up some HTML app. Similarly, you want to set up some PHP app, set up some Angular app. Now, in this particular scenario, guys, all the three are web applications and they have some kind of common dependency. If I want to set up this HTML app, right? Let me go ahead with differentiation. Right. So if I want to set up this HTML app, I need to go through the following things. These are the things I need to do it here. Same way, if I want to set up PHP, will exactly the same thing work? No, little bit different. Here also, this part is common, right? This is required anywhere. On top of it, I need to do few more things, which is I want to do the Angular app. Now we can see in these three different operations that I'm trying to go with, there are different set of what do you say commands that I need to go ahead and work with, are basically different tasks I need to go and work with. But in here, there are repetitive tasks. All these three are same tasks, correct? Now I'm saying, instead of going and doing these tasks each and every time, I'll define this task once. I'll call it as a role. Next time onwards, I'll call the role wherever it is required. That's what the concept is. Same like functions. You define the function, you call the functions. Exactly same thing we are trying to get it done with the Ansible, and that concept we generally call it as Ansible roles. Now we will see how you can create a role, and then wherever is required in different what do you say tasks, that how you can call these particular roles. We'll go ahead and we'll see that, right? And one more thing. So this is one use case. And also another advantage of using roles is you can segregate the things. Imagine that whatever the playbook you are trying to run, it has a lot of different activities. Like what you need handlers, you need variables, what else we used, templates, copy module, right? And let's say you want some tasks to be done. Now in roles, these are all individual set of directories. So you'll not keep everything in one single place. That's the reason why I said, if you remember in the last part, I said segregate your playbooks. Keep only things required in this place, right? Now that can be done with the help of this concept. I'll keep all handlers separate, all my templates separate, files separate, and you can go with it. Now let's see how we can create a role, segregate the things, and call whenever required as per our roles, what do you say, possibility. Currently, we don't have any roles yet, right? So these are all playbooks that we created in the last part, right? Okay. Now I'll show you how you can create an Ansible role. So for that, you have a separate command called Ansible Galaxy. Using this, initialize a role actually, Ansible init, the role name. Let's say I'll call it as role1. Just give the meaningful names. HTTP role, whatever you want, you just go with it. I'm just calling here it as role1. Okay, it says a role has been successfully what to say created over here. Yes, that's the command for creating Ansible Galaxy init, the role name. I said role1, right? Now, unlike files, what we got this time, you got a directory. Now, this directory contains lot of subdirectories. You see, handlers, files, tasks, templates, variables, right? So you got different set of directories. Now within these directories, we need to go ahead with it, right? Yes, Gautam, it's a predefined command. When you install Ansible, it comes as a part of your Ansible installation. All right, okay. Now, what we are going to do is we'll take some specific playbook. We'll keep what all we learned till this point of time, and then we will distribute them across these different directories. Okay, let me show you one by one now. What I'll do is, just a second, we have some reference document. Okay, got it. Right. So now what I'll do is I'll take this example. Okay, now we had bits and pieces in different places throughout these various files, right? First thing in these roles, so how the calling happens is this role will be called from a separate playbook. When you call a role, in your roles, there will be something called like tasks directory. There is some file called main.yml file in the tasks directory. It's just an empty template. In this template, what you do is you'll define the tasks, you call the tasks. As of now, there is only main file. There is no other thing apart from this main, right? Now what I'm going to do is, what is our goal? We wanted to install HTTPD as the part of this role, and anything that is there, the configuration part, we want to distribute it. Now you see what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my httpd.yml file. I'm going to copy it into roles, tasks, I'm copying it with the name called as install.yml. Now that is a task, right? Now I'm not going to keep any of this. You just mention only tasks. Where to run and all that, you don't need to mention any of it here. All I'm saying is install, start, and enable this service. That's it. I don't want anything else. This is my installation. Next, I want to perform the configuration. Getting the point is, so that install.yaml, it will install the things. Now I want a second task which will do the configuration part, what like changing the port number or changing some template file, whatever you want, you can do that. Now I think the best thing I can check out from here is, maybe let's see what is handler doing. Okay, we have variables, handlers, template is also there, copy is also there. Okay, perfect. I'll take this example, guys. Now you see this file has a lot of things. It has variables, it has handlers, it has template, it has copy. What are all the things that we used on the regular basis? Now you see what I'm going to do with this particular thing. Install, configure. So in the task we had earlier installed, now I'm copying with the name called as config.yml. Now I'm going to do few things here. Now we know this config has a lot of information like handlers and all this part, right? Now I'm going to segregate them separately. Okay, let's see the file once again. This is what we see, right? Now this is handler. This is variable. Correct? Now let's see what I'm going to do one by one. Anyway, it is there in this file, right? Or if not, better. You see what I did? I kept the template. What is it? That SC Linux, then copy module, some package module, done. Only tasks I kept. I hope you are getting the points. In the task directory, you'll only keep tasks, nothing else. But obviously, when this config is called, we need variables, and also we need what is it? Template file and copy module as well, right? Now that is already there as a part of handler. Correct? In the handler, we defined like this is nothing but this is a copy, but we modified a few things. Now, what I'm going to do is the first thing, we needed handler for this particular playbook to work. We need a template for playbook to work. We need a variable to playbook for work, and also we need some copy module to work. Now, I'll get into these roles. Now, first, let's see handlers. There is a file called main.yaml in the handler section. That's where you need to define your handlers. Now, what I'll do is, I hope you got the logic. Right? Now, I don't need all these things. I need only what? Handler. That's the handler name. Restart HTTP. You have multiple handlers, right? Multiple handlers there. Did you get the point? Is I said segregate with respect to bits and pieces. Right. Now you got your handler also segregated. Then what we had variables. Same, it will also be empty. I'll do the exact same thing. You want more variables? Add more variables, your choice. Right? Yes. Next word, template and copies. There is no template only. Where is our template? So for this playbook, what is the template we need? That's a template file, right? http.j2. Now what I'll do is, now when my config playbook is called, it goes into this template directory and starts applying this particular template. Hope you got the point. Okay. Same way, we also need what? One copy. Why? Because apart from template, what else we had here? Template is done. SC Linux part. Copy is required. What is the file? We don't have anything here. Now what I'm going to do is, Now we are copying the date.php to files directory. Now, when this when this config playbook is called, it will go into that files directory, then start retrieving the file there. Now you see guys how we segregated. It was very simple. That's the reason why it is easy to understand. But if you have more things, right, you just add more things there. You have more files, more templates, more variables, more handlers. You just keep on going and updating into those particular specific files there. Now fine, looks good. Now the confusion. How am I supposed to run this rule? The problem is we never mention where to run it. You look at your task files. Is there any target specified? Same thing. Now, the order is also important. What to call first and how to go with the sequence, right? That's where this main file will be used. You know, like same like main method in Java, same functionality. If in case you're not aware, it's an entry point for starting your program actually. Now that's exactly same thing we are going to do. Now for our role, our entry point will be the main.yaml file. In case you don't know, right, yes, in the main function, you'll call other functions. Or if not, our example is the best thing you can take. There are sub functions. These three are like tasks: install, config, some XYZ task. All these three functions, main function, so this entry point will start all these functions. Exactly same thing we are going to do in this particular main.yaml file. Getting the point is, so in the main.yaml, we are going to call them. Like what there we used objects, like object name dot function name. Here little bit different. Let's see how we are going to call that now. Role, tasks, and my main.yaml file. Now here I'm going to write the things. Now I'm going to say, why? Because there can be more number of tasks, right? That's the reason why dash list. Import the tasks. What task? Getting the point is, you want to run some other task? Yes, you can go ahead and start running the other task as well from here. Clear? Yes, I hope you got the point. Now I'll go ahead and I'll save this. But here also, did I mention anywhere saying that run it on node 1, node 2, node 3? That's where you use your regular playbooks. Did you get the point? Is now this is HTML. Now if you are doing some other work, you create other task for other part and you can call it, no problem. Now how am I going to call it? Let's see. What our example, let's say set up HTML app. There is no URL, but just imagine that you are doing some URL part as well in another task there. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Copy this handler.yaml and I'll say HTML app.yaml. Are you getting the point? Is now in here, in this, now you see what I'm going to do is now I don't need to call the tasks anywhere. Why? Because already the tasks are defined there. Now here I'm going to call the roles. How you call? This is the syntax you need to follow, guys. This is the syntax you need to go with. Roles. And then you mention the roles that you want to call. Apart from this, you created another role for now. I hope you got the logic what I'm trying to say. But for timing, I'll comment here. But you got the logic, right? Now, if I run this playbook, it will call the role. This playbook will call this role. When this role called, what file will be invoked? This file will be invoked. Getting the point? Your role will call role respective main file. This main file calls the first file called install.yaml. This install.yaml will make sure HTTPD is installed, started, and it's enabled. Once this particular file is called, then next file is config.yaml. This config.yaml, it goes and calls the template, which is part of the directory called roles templates main.yaml. Sorry, what do you say that template httpd.j2. Now that httpd.j2 will be replacing our destination path. Similarly, what this httpd.j2 has variables, correct? Those variables will be called from our variables directory. Do you get the point? Is so this file, which is part of our templates, cat role templates httpd.j2. This contains a this is a variable http_port. This port is defined where I hope you got the logic. So like that, this what do you say, connectivity happens exactly within your entire Ansible patch. Now let's run this part and let's figure out if it is working as expected. Ansible-playbook and HTML applet. Right, it calls role and role calls the respective things. Fine. Why? Because end to I did not start. So it's saying reachable, or if not, what, I'll simply go ahead with respect to my HTML role and make some small changes. Only we'll call N1 and that should look good. How can I test if it is working or not? I'll simply go ahead and change the port and we'll see if it basically gets updated or not. Sorry. Some different port I modified. Now, according to this role, when it's called, it should check the changes from the http.conf file, which is as a part of template, which will go to .j2 file, which is a variable called http_port. It detected that there is a change and it restarted our HTTP parts. Well, we don't need to check, but obviously we are pretty sure that it got updated there with respect to our port 8090, or simply you can use Ansible N1-M command module -a grep listen on /etc httpd conf httpd.conf. Right, got updated as expected. Now you see guys, later on you are writing what, your PHP app, you are writing your Angular app, then I don't need to do all the work once again. Copy, you again go ahead, create it, keep the PHP installation, what is a PHP code, Git related things, you update it there. Now later on in the future, you're running multiple Angular apps. Again, there also you can apply the same particular role and start reusing it wherever you basically want it. Got the point is? So that's how you start using the concept called as Ansible roles, so that you can reuse the infra rather than writing the same thing again and again and again. Clear? I hope you got the point is, right? So these are the things that basically our Ansible will handle when it comes to the infrastructure part, like what you want to regularly go and modify the servers, modify the config files, installations, uninstallations, right? Updates. Now all this with the help of your configuration management tool called Ansible, you can go ahead and start working. Clear, yes? Right. Okay, fine. We got to know Ansible is handling the what do you say, our servers, and it is going and making sure what we wanted in the servers, it is setting it up. Okay, this is good part from the what you say configurations. Now we are going to talk about a new thing. Maybe in the next class we'll start it, but just I'll make you understand. Now imagine till point of the time we worked, right? We were working with VMs. All these are virtual machines. Now in the market, there is a new concept called as containerization, containers. Now we need to see what are containers, why do we use them, how it can be helpful if your applications are containerized, and you as a DevOps engineer, how you are going to deploy the applications on the containers. Or basically you need to convert your entire applications into the containerized model. In that particular scenario, you have completely new different set of problems to deal with. Like I already said, guys, each tool, it does different work. Now you got the clarity with the Jenkins. Now you got the clarity with respect to Ansible, how it works. Then once you do the Docker, then you'll know how Docker is completely different. And what kind of problems it's basically going to solve us when it comes to the, what you say, deployment perspective. So now Docker is the most widely used tool when it comes to deploying the apps and start working with respect to deployments, right? Okay, and one more thing is Ansible will only come to you or make sense once you start writing the code. That's it. There is nothing to do in Ansible. All you need to do is take some task, apply it in the terms of Ansible playbook part. You should be good to handle it. Clear? Yes, I hope you got the point, right? So what I will do is in the next class, I'll start with our Docker. So what is Docker, how it works, and why you need to know about containerization, and why everyone is started moving from what do you say, VMs to containers. Your goal is deploying the applications in containers. What you did right now, literally speaking, you deployed the apps in VMs. That's what you did. Now our goal is how we are going to use these containers is what all we are going to talk. Then once that containerization model is done, then there is something called like Kubernetes. Now how that Kubernetes will help you resolve the orchestration part. So like that, we will start completing one by one tool next, right? Okay. But don't worry, you'll get all these things in the project in a little bit more precise manner. There, I'll give different, what do you say, like kind of what you say, different application. And for that application, you might need to do completely different steps. So here what, in order to make you understand this technology, I took what you already know and I implemented it. But in the project, obviously, I'll give you new things. Getting the point, right? So in order to meet that, you need to make sure you do regular practice on all these particular tools. Got it? Right. Okay, fine. Yes, I'll not start Docker tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get started with Docker. What is Docker, how it works, and it's also very, very interesting too. Like how we saw Ansible is doing with the code, right? It does in a different approach. So once you learn Docker, you'll use Docker very regularly. Why? Because it has like a lot of easier to go ahead and work with in comparison to all these tools. All right. Okay. Chalo, fine, guys, and we'll stop it. Tomorrow, let's get started with our Docker part.